Hello, welcome to the Parish Church of St Aidan's Gravesend in the Diocese of Rochester. This is a Church of England parish in the wider Anglican Communion. Welcome to this, our YouTube channel, and as I say, to our parish church, which I will show you round in just a moment. This channel is primarily a place which I hope will offer you sanctuary. I hope it will be a place where you can come for prayer and for peace, particularly on Saturday evenings, where you will find a recording of the Vigil Office, a very traditional service of prayers and psalms and readings for the evening before the Lord's Day Sunday, which is really there by way of allowing us or enabling us to prepare for Sunday. And if you've ordinarily been worshipping in churches, perhaps this very church or another, and you haven't been for a long time, or perhaps you've just been starting to attend church for private prayer, and you're beginning to long again, if you haven't done before, to gather again as a congregation, as a people of God, and to worship and receive the sacraments, which we long and hope we will be able to do before too long. I hope that this Vigil Office service, which as I say you'll find here on Saturday evenings each week from about 5 p.m, I hope that they will continue to develop that longing to come together into our buildings. Here at St Aidan's we're doing everything we can to ensure that the building is as safe as it can possibly be during these difficult times, and obviously I would only say come into this building or any church building if you feel that that's really what you want to do. Our first priority during these times will always be public health and public safety, and safeguarding is very, very important to us here at St Aidan's, very much indeed. There's been a lot of talk over the last weeks and months, but actually over the last several years, if not decades, about the whole idea of the church outside of the four walls of the building. Now, as I say, that's not a new idea. People have been talking about the church outside the building for a very long time. And even though it may not always make the media headlines, churches have been working very, very hard in many different ways in communities, up and down the country and all around the world, of course, really contributing to social cohesion in lots of different ways. And this lockdown has allowed us to also look at our spiritual life and our religious services and so on in a completely new light by having lots of online worship. And I'm sure that many of you have been accessing some of that online worship or have been listening to it on the radio or what have you. And I do really hope that that online worship has been very, very good for you, that you've enjoyed it, that you've felt drawn in to the love of Christ. Perhaps you haven't attended church for a long time, or maybe even ever, and perhaps stepping into a building like this or any religious building might be rather intimidating, and perhaps finding that you can access lots of different services online, I really hope has been a real gateway for you to come in and see what faith in Jesus Christ is all about. I hope it's really enriched your life during these difficult times and given you encouragement and hope. Lots of churches up and down the Church of England and all over the place, I'm sure, will now be doing lots of thinking about how we may maintain internet worship when our general, if you like, usual pattern of church worship starts to commence again over the next weeks and months. Parish life is very, very busy indeed for clergy and lots of other people that come to church. So when everything gets going as it normally does, life is quite fast-paced. So finding a way to weave this excellent internet worship into that is going to be quite an interesting challenge, and one which we commend to God and you, if I may, for your prayers as we look to navigate our way through that. But notwithstanding all of that and the wonder of digital church, I think church buildings are wonderful, wonderful places, and they offer us something that online church can't do. They offer us a real living symbol, an icon, a banner, a thing that you can actually physically leave your home or your place of work and come to, make a physical commitment by going into a church, making a commitment of time by being there with other people for a particular amount of time, is something that many Christians and churchgoers, if you like, have perhaps taken for granted for many, many years. But actually going to church is more than just a habit. It's something which actually confers something very, very good and very, very deep upon us. It gives us spiritual maturity. It allows us to get used to all kinds of different people. We learn that being a Christian or a person of faith doesn't mean that everybody is alike. It means we look beyond our household and we start to see ourselves as a community of faith, as a body of Christ. And of course, Christian buildings, churches like this one, are actually consecrated. They are blessed when they were built and they were finally ready for worship. In this church's case, in the 1960s, blessed, consecrated, set aside for the worship of God, a place that's really, really special. And I think that's a really wonderful reason to welcome you in over this time of private prayer in the church building on Wednesdays between 9 and 11 a.m. and Sundays between 10 and 12 noon. And over time, public worship of one sort or another will start to happen here as well. So you are really, really warmly welcome. Let me show you around the interior of the church, if I may. It's just gone 9 o'clock on a summer's evening, so the light is just sort of starting to wane. But one of the things that I hope can be seen straight away is the amount of natural light that comes into St Aidan's church. You can see the effect of it on the wooden floor there, and in the height of the day when the sunlight is streaming in, it has a really wonderful golden effect on the floor. We're laid out slightly differently because of the coronavirus at the moment. Lots of our furniture has been cleared away, but in this space at the back is a sort of lounge and meeting space. We have refreshments in here after Sunday worship, and all kinds of other activities in the community take place here. And above, if I just go into reverse, above our balcony area there, you'll see some other glass doors. Through there is a computer suite, which is a very useful community resource, especially for those who do not have a computer or the internet at home, and they use that for lots of important things. Lots of light-coloured wood, recognisably a church because we have pews in that sort of style, but also it has a modern feel. Making our way towards the sanctuary. The church, as I say, is dedicated to St Aidan of Lindisfarne, and just over here above the pulpit there is a cross in the Celtic style, which is one reference to our connections with Aidan. And then over in the corner a banner, parish banner made many years ago depicting Aidan on Lindisfarne. Coming back round to the sanctuary. We have our simple altar here, but a very striking one nonetheless. And above it the cross of Christ reigning in glory against a dark green marble background. The hangings either side there were made by members of the congregation many years ago. On On the altar just to the right there is a crucifix which came to us from Zimbabwe, and the Diocese of Rochester has a link with the Diocese of Harare in that country, and when we have services on, a candle burns here, remembering and praying for that link. We also have in this parish our own particular link with the Diocese of Bo in Sierra Leone, West Africa. And so the candle, when it's lit during services, burns in prayer for our brothers and sisters in that part of the world too. So there we are. That's a walk round at St Aidan's Church here in Gravesend. You're very, very welcome to this YouTube channel, however you found your way to us. And I pray for you as the day starts to turn into evening, that you will have a restful evening. If you're watching this at some other time of day, may God bless you and all those whom you love and who love you. And I pray, as I say, that you will find this particular space, this YouTube channel, and any other digital church networks that you're part of or that you find, and they will be a place of sanctuary and of healing and peace for you. So God bless you, God go with you this day and evermore. Amen.